everything is on point, but we're gonna keep this train moving. So you won't see the Facebook, it's gonna be podcast form. And while I'm doing some things, because I've been having to do some travel over this week and kind of go back and forth, but I'm gonna get this podcast going because we got to keep this train moving. Listen, God says stop looking at what people look like, and thinking that you can choose by the way somebody looks or whatever. He says you are the chosen one. Okay, you are the chosen one, but you got to know that. And there's some things that we're gonna talk about on our podcast today. It's a video, but we gonna treat it like a podcast. Okay, it's Sizzling Saturday. I love y'all so much, but he says you are the chosen one, and so we're gonna come from 1 Samuel 16:7. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7, and it says, "But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." Okay, and again, y'all, that's 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. Okay, now I'm gonna paraphrase this. Now, y'all don't come to me and say, "Oh, that ain't what it said." I'm saying, I'm put this disclaimer out here. I'm finna paraphrase what this verse means. It is literally saying, "But the Lord said to Samuel, don't look at what he looked like. Okay, don't look at how tall he is, how short, whatever. Don't look at his position. Okay, because I refused all of that. That I cared nothing about. But see, we look at these outward appearances, but God say, I'm looking at the heart." Okay, so that's paraphrasing that verse. And there's some things that I wanted to give to you that God gave to me in regard to this. He says, You are the chosen one. You got to know that you are the chosen one. Somebody is always looking, somebody is always watching. When you think they ain't looking, when you think they ain't watching, somebody is always looking at you. They analyzing you. They making sure they got an eye on you. They observing you. God has already sent them from kingdom perspective and got them in place, position, posture to assist you, help you, get you where you need to be. But you got to keep staying on top of your grind. You got to keep doing what God has purposed you to do. You got to keep moving in the will and the purpose and the plan that God has laid out for your life, in your lane, the way that he's tailor-made and designed it for you. You are the one that has to keep going and doing what God has designed for you to do. And so basically, we got to keep moving according to the will, the principles, the purpose that God has laid out for our life. Because he said that you are the chosen one. You the chosen one. Okay, you are the chosen one. And so I know somebody may be sitting here saying, well, Torsha, that's not for me. Everybody always turning their back on me, and they don't believe in what I'm saying or what I'm doing, or I try. God said, don't worry about that. Stay in your lane. Stay in your business. Stay in your grind. Be consistent. Persevere that thing. Be diligent at what it is. As long as you know that this is what God has purposed in your heart and mind to do, and that's what he told you to do, then that's what you continue to do. Don't look to the left or the right. You got to stay focused and aligned with what God has laid out for you. Okay, the reason why they have alterations and tailors and things like that when it comes to things such as clothing and stuff like that, because I'm gonna tell you how I know. One person might wear a size 10 or 8 or whatever, and the next person body type, they might also be a size 8 or 10. But guess what? The difference is in how that garment is tailor made to every specific curve or crevice of that person's body. So it may fit them a little bit differently than it would fit on the next person, even though they may wear the same size. And see, that's all kingdom is saying. That's all God is saying to you is, listen, I know this person has a business, a purpose, a plan, an assignment, whatever it may be, but I've also got this for you. And guess what? I've tailor made it to fit you. and you only. Nobody else can fit this garment. Nobody else can walk this walk. Nobody else can stay in this lane. Nobody else has been tailor made, designed, and carved out to do this assignment, this purpose that I've given directly to you. He says, you got to know and understand that you are the chosen one. I'm not looking at what it looks like on the outside. And here's the thing. Yes, you want to look nice. Yes, you want to make sure that things are on point. God don't want you around here looking a mess. But we got to get beyond that. See, because right now, a lot of times people will mess around and miss their blessing. You'll miss your calling. You'll miss your blessing. You'll miss your opportunity. You'll miss because you so focused on what something or somebody looks like. And here's another thing. Just because people are not saying something does not necessitate or mean that they're not looking or watching you. Okay? Sometimes an investor, sometimes a supporter, um, anyone that falls in that particular realm, they're watching because they want to see. Well, let me see if he gonna be consistent. He said he got this business. He said he gonna, make sure that he starts a debt decrease business, or he's gonna, be consistent with a car washing business. And he washed cars for the first 2 months. I came by a couple of times he went open, that are you going to be consistent? So just because they're not saying anything, it does not mean that they're not watching. You are Your responsibility is to make sure and continue to do what God has told you to do. You don't have time to be around here trying to be Pearl off of 227. Okay, I'm gonna come and say right now, you ain't got time to be around here trying to be Pearl off of 227, sitting up in the window trying to see what's going on with everything. You can't mind your business. See, your business is what God had told you to do. And I'm gonna tell you like this: when you truly and honestly get in alignment and you are focused and you doing what God has asked you to do in your assignment and your purpose, you don't have time to be up in the windowsill trying to see what's going on with somebody else's business because you're too busy worrying about your own. I promise you, and I won't take that back. I make you a promise from me to you that if you mind your business, not in a negative way. Let me go and put that out there because somebody, oh, she telling us to mind our business. No, if you truly are minding your business, your purpose, your destiny, what God has assigned you to do, you will find, I promise you, you will find that trying to mind your business and your assignment and what he has you doing for your life that's tailor-made to you, you don't have time. You really won't have time to be trying to see and peek and look and see what's going on with somebody else because you're so busy, and not in a negative sense, but you're so focused on what it is that you have to do to 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 keep your assignment, your purpose moving forward. Okay, so he wants you to know you are the chosen one. Okay, now that does not mean that you're not gonna get denials, and let's deal with this thing of fear while we own it. I often hear people say fear is, false evidence appearing real. But God gave me, he said, tell my people. Because he had to tell me first. He said, share with them, Torsha. Share with them. He said, fear. Face everything anyway, regardless. Fear. Face everything anyway, regardless. Okay, so don't sit there. Well, they're not being receptive. Nobody's really chiming. They're not really supporting. Do it anyway. Stop being afraid. Stop being scared. Listen, because here are the choices that you have. You can either sit there and do nothing and say that I didn't do it because I was afraid. So I just didn't do anything. Or you can say, well, I was scared, but I decided with my fear to face everything anyway, regardless. And even though I didn't get this amount, I got this amount. See, action, you got to put some action behind the words that you're speaking, because remember we talked about you got to speak your affirmations every day. I am the righteousness of God. I am a son of God. I am a king, a king's kid. I am. You have to. And don't tell me that affirmations are not a part of the kingdom, because I know Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. It's all throughout the Bible where he was, I am, I am, I am. Okay, so speak your affirmations daily. You got to know that you are the chosen one. Okay, so you don't look like what they so called, quote unquote, call the prototype. You don't look like the traditional. You don't look like, maybe you don't fit to be a, folks, oh, she don't look like had this health model over here look, and you say you got a health business, but you're not called to look like everybody else. God didn't call you to look like everybody else. He called you to look like what he wants you to look like. And when you do it in the manner that he's chosen for you, he will bless it. I promise you, he'll bless it. Okay, so you don't have to pattern yourself. Now, definitely make sure you get you a mentor or a life coach or someone who can get you on the right track, but making sure that it coincides with what God has purpose for your life, and not modeling after someone else to become a carbon copy. And that's a problem. That's what's going on now. It's a whole bunch of carbon copies all over the place. Okay, but it's interesting how God gave you a unique set of fingerprints that nobody else on the face of this earth who has been here before you or after you will ever have. So I know that he called you, you chose it, you're the unique one. Okay, so we got to face everything anyway, regardless. Okay, that's when you think of fear, you think of fear as, oh, I got to face everything anyway, regardless of what's going on. Okay, so we're not gonna look at, oh, she, oh, she got the body, oh, she banging, she this, that, whatever. What you gonna do when you get a whole, listen, you ever get, because y'all know the holidays coming up, Christmas coming, you ever get something and you playing the little Christmas game, and you know how you exchange the gifts or whatever, and you waiting because you see that box there, you see that big old box, and then you feel it and it's a little heavy, and you sitting there, you like, oh, that thing wrapped right, and it's so pretty, and I mean everything is on point. I want that one, and you choose based off of what it is that you see. Okay, and so you get it. And what you gonna do if when you get it, you open it, that thing is either empty or you done got a box around. Y'all remember the little game show? What was it? Lord, I can't even think of it right now. Where I think Monty Hall used to be on there, and I think it's let's make a deal or something. Let's make a deal. And the folks they see some big shiny box, this, that, whatever. They mess around and choose it, and some pigs in there and garbage bags. And yeah, that's what, and it's like that in real life, y'all. It's like that in real life. You know why? Because when you choose based off of just what you see, all the bulkiness, all the muscles. Oh, he tall, dark, and handsome. Oh, he fine. Oh, she fine. Oh, this, that, right there. And then you start having a conversation with them, and then you realize, oh, all the bells and whistles on, all the lights on, but ain't nobody up in here. We can't have a decent conversation. Wow. Yeah, it looks good, but there's nothing there. There's no sustenance to it. There's nothing that's able to hold. There's nothing of value. See, that's why the Bible talks about in Proverbs 31, when a man finds a wife, he finds a great thing, because see, she held value, not just because of the way she looked. This woman was a business owner. This woman was able to orchestrate some things. Now, here's the thing: she didn't have to. because the Bible says her husband had stature well known, taking great care. Okay, but she held value. She knew she had that thing running. Okay, she rose up before anybody else got up to make sure that the directives and things were given, and that thing had to flow. Okay, so value, not just sitting there taking up space, holding up something. You have nothing to listen, especially when it comes to relationships, y'all. Especially when it comes to relationships. And here's where especially with the female community, some people gonna get mad with me, and that's fine. We're gonna pray through it and keep going. Um, you got to be listen, you can't expect for him to have this whole list of things. And then you come and you have nothing to give. You have nothing to offer. He got to have a PhD. And I'm not saying that you can't make it happen without these things, but all I'm saying is you got this list of expectations that you yourself have not yet met, but you want somebody else to do. Okay, you want this person to look like this, and this, but you won't take the necessary measures and steps to make sure that you're healthy, continue to keep yourself together, and do the things that need to be done inside and out. Inside and out. You want him to be a godly man and a man that loves the Lord and will do what needs to be done, but you won't pick up your Bible until maybe two times throughout the week. Bible study at church on whenever, and then Sunday morning. Okay, come on. We got to make sure that we doing what God tell us to do. Okay. But I'm getting off. Let me get on back over here. All right, so you are the chosen one. Okay, we don't look at these outward appearances. I don't care how many degrees, who you are in the community, what you stand for, what you don't stand for. Oh, you popular, you well known, this, that, whatever. uh, I don't care. It doesn't matter, because if your heart ain't right, see, God looks on the heart. You know why he chose to look on the heart instead of all of that other stuff? Because when God can look on your heart and see that it is amendable and it's pliable and it's able to be flexed, he can work with that, because it's not a heart made of stone. It's you not a rattlesnake. You not a whole bulldog, just mean as all get at, or stubborn, or you just, I'm gonna do it. This just what? Okay, God said I got to look at the heart. You can have all the money, the stature, the popularity, whatever the case may be, but if you got a nasty disposition, if you got a nasty disposition about yourself, or you arrogant, or you feel like, oh, I'm entitled, or everybody, you got to look, he ain't looking for that. That ain't drawing no, you can't draw nobody like that, because God himself is love. That's what he is. He didn't sit there and say, okay, I got a little love for this one, nope, and then I ain't got none for this one, no, I got no. He loves us. That's why I always keep saying he's our Father. The model prayer starts out, our Father. He's ours, y'all. Okay, so it's Sizzling Saturday, but I'm gonna leave you with this right here. Know that you are the chosen one. Okay, a denial doesn't listen. Just because you get denied or delayed or all, listen, that is not your ending point. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. No matter what happens, you got to get yourself. Listen, you got to learn how to get back up and get back up quickly. You gonna fall. I'm not gonna say if you fall. You fall. You gonna fall. But you gotta know how to be like, ooh, oh boy, yeah, I feel that hurt. Let me get on up, nurse this wound. Okay, I'm back up though. Let me roll on. You got to do that. You got to. Okay. And the next thing is, you got to understand that even though you don't fit what society or the world says it should look like, speak like, talk like, walk like, you got to know that the only bill you need to be fitting in terms of what you should look like, talk like, is what God has designed for you. And as long as you fit that and you're pleasing Him and it lines up with what He has tailor made for your life, that's all you need to worry about. All the rest of that, God will take care of that, because I promise you, He got some. Y'all, they watching. They watch. I'm telling you, they watching. It's folks who will never come up to you, say anything to you. You don't even know they're there. But if something happens or when the opportune time comes, they can come and tell you when you come, when you go, where you go. Oh, I see you all the time and stuff. They've never introduced themselves, but you know why? Because they're watching. They're watching, and you never know who is watching you. This is why when you come in contact with people, you don't know who you're speaking to. You don't know who you're speaking with. You don't know who you're having a conversation with. Just be who God told you to be. Because that way you can't go wrong. If they nasty to you, okay, God bless you, I'm gone. But you don't know if the person that you're speaking with, or you choose, and get this too, or the person that you choose to pass by, you want to say nothing to them because they don't look like they could get anything done for you. So you won't speak to them, but you'll move on to the next person. You ever seen or been in a situation where somebody may come and ask a question and they pass by you? They're not going to ask you the question, but they'll go to the next person who may look let's just say may look a little different. We're gonna use that. May look a little different. And then that person that they went to ask the question to redirects them right back to you, the person that they just passed. And then that person will come to you and say, oh, I could have just stopped. That whole part. That whole part. But it's okay. And that's what we have to be careful of. You don't know who's watching, who's listening, who's observing. Just because they don't say anything does not mean that they're not taking notation. So you don't just decide that, oh, I'm just done with them. I ain't gonna even deal with them no more. I'm just not gonna deal with them because they don't support. No, you can't take that type of spirit. You can't take that type of attitude. You have to keep your focus, okay? All right. And just, keep moving the way that God has called you. The last thing is um you got to be able to tend to handle and execute your business, okay, with or without the cheerleader squad. You got to be able to tend to handle and execute your business with or without a cheerleader squad. You got to know that this journey right here, when you on your journey to greatness, destination, your assignment, your purpose, what God has led for your life, you gonna have to get comfortable with what is basically uncommon or seems to be abnormal to the norm. And I know you got to get comfortable with what seems uncommon or abnormal to the norm. You got to be able to do this thing whether you got one person with you, nobody with you, or 100,000 people with you. You got to be able to say, "Ooh, I got to travel. I got to go do XYZ. I got a couple things I need to handle on business." You may not have a whole, team with you to be able to fly to wherever where you got to go and handle some stuff. You're gonna have to you got to listen. You got to be a big boy, big girl. You got to sit there and be like, okay, let me get these bags. Okay, I got to be at the airport at such and such time. Okay, this flight is on such. You got to handle your business. Okay, and you got to know that God is with you. He's with you every step of the way. He would not have given you the assignment, the purpose, the business, the plan if he had not already equipped you with everything that you needed to get it done. Okay, so listen, stop looking on the sidelines for the cheerleaders. That means your focus is off. That means you're not focused and aligned where you need to be. Stop looking for the cheerleaders. If the cheerleaders show up and they there, okay, fine. But if the cheerleaders don't ever show up, you got to keep going. Okay, you got to keep going. But the one thing I want y'all to take from this is face everything anyway, regardless. Okay, I love y'all. I love y'all so much. When I tell you I missed y'all, oh, if you want to have a session with me, I will go ahead and put the information in the description box on today. And then that way I can let you know what, I don't know if we have any other slots available for December. I'm gonna look and see if there's anything left and open for December. But anyway, certainly you can schedule a one-on-one session with me. I love y'all so much. Please, it's Sizzling Saturday. I want you to have the best Saturday of your life. And always remember, what feels like the end is often the beginning. So begin well and embrace a fresh start. I love you. Have a great day. Bye.